am the Headless Headhunter, a corporate recruiter, here to review your resumes and get you ahead of your job search. So, the first resume we have up is a customer success director and manager. They said a lot of stuff. They're looking to transition into B2B SaaS, hoping to join an MNC. I don't know what an MNC is. You need to make sure your acronyms are understood. That is a huge thing in recruiting, is we work in a bunch of different industries where a bunch of the different acronyms mean different things. Luckily, SaaS usually means the same thing. So what I'm going to be looking for broadly is you've done SaaS, you've multitasked, you've interacted with shareholders. If you have GDR or NDR, which is gross dollar retention or dollar retention, that's okay. That's going to be a bonus. I should probably have moved that to a bonus. Only like 1 or 2 of the jobs actually had that. So we're going to put that down to be as a bonus. How you succeeded cross-functionally with responsibility but no power. This is huge. They want to know that you don't have any direct reports, but you're still able to enact change in the industry. This is huge. Huge, huge, huge. Excel, Word, and G Suite, which is Google Suite, and communication across a wide variety of channels. So email, phone, text, social media. So you need to show how you succeeded. All right. And this person has a ratio of 50-1. So that's not the worst. I will be honest. You have a 1-50 ratio. It's not terrible. It's like a C-, right? It barely passes, but it does pass. And if y'all need more help than this resume review provides, such as me telling you how ATSs actually work, which is not how you think, you can join me on my Twitch chat. That's where I do this stuff live and I record it at twitch.tv/Headless Headhunter. I am live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's see how well this person's resume does, which, again, I'm expecting it to be okay, because it's a C-, so it passes, but barely if it's a 1-50. So, customer director with Salesforce AP partnership. Again, I don't care about this. Highlights. When you're very high up, you may be able to do a highlight. Normally, I'm not a big fan of highlights or summary sections, but when you get to like the high level manager director, sometimes it's needed because you can't always really fit it all. But this might not be good. So this part is fine. I don't know what a 96% CSAT or 100% renewable score is. I will be perfectly frank with you. And it's possible your recruiter doesn't either. So, excuse me. But yeah, you don't use acronyms we don't know. I don't know what APAC is. I don't know what CSAT is. I do know what SAS is. SAS is one that is acceptable to keep as an acronym because that is generally understood across those in the space. That is the software as a service. The rest of this, though, who knows? So, I'm not against highlights because normally your resume should look like this. I'm not against highlights in a resume at this level of experience, but these are not good highlights. Yeah, this one is okay. You need better highlights if you're going to do it. And again, the highlights should still be how you worked cross-functionally, how you were in SaaS, which is why this part is successful, how you don't need the Google Suite, but how you succeeded cross-functionally. So, not a fan of your highlights. Quick and effective problem-solving, communication, and support. See, this is okay. This is actually very good, but the way you wrote it is wrong. This is how you make a brag, right? During the actual bullet points where it shows, you need to say, was complimented by our senior finance client. In fact, that would how you be put it was complimented by our senior finance client, where they said, and then you can put this. But this randomly is screwing up a lot of the space. So, all right. Career break, I don't know if you need that. It's also only been like 4 or 5 months, give or take. Well, 6 months, which isn't huge. Typically, you need to worry about a break or a gap if it's longer than 2 years. That's when it kind of gets a little bit dicey. So, but even then, this is... I mean, you had a career break and you still had it? That's kind of weird. I would just put a sentence, but even then, I don't even know if you should keep that. So transform customer engagement strategy, and then you should put in parentheses CSM through a custom first model, improving customer sentiment, and securing 100% renewers for the company. This is great. This alone is probably why you're getting interviews. The problem is there's so much junk on the way all the way down here that they may miss it. But this is a phenomenal entry, and it gives us a lot of what I need. So restructure customer management workflows by optimizing Workday CRM leading to faster response time directly to C. Again, I don't know what a CSAT score is and how it's important. I don't even know if that was necessarily needed. It is good that you have CRM and CSM here in different places, but ode of life cycle, renewals, ability, street of parking. Again, this one's okay, but I need to know how you worked cross-functionally. How did you communicate? I know those are basic, but it's needed. Did you have Salesforce? Maybe not. That's okay. Did you multitask? How many projects were you working on enough? Truthfully, this entire resume, I think, is carried by this line alone. So I want the rest of it to be written like this and like that. Directed 7 across APAC. Again, what is APAC? They may not know. Overseeing expansion for an 11-year portfolio, spanning monthly CD target. This is great. This is phenomenal. This is a great bullet point. Why the heck is it all the way to the bottom here? This is why I don't like this, is because this is taking up from actual competency in the resume that shows. This is a great bullet point. Most recruiters will not scroll this far down. An as fintech platform, fintech. I think you can get away without using fintech. I think people do know what fintech is. Platform developed with X or forwarding out for 6 comes to revenue. Again, reversing fortune. This is too fancy. This is not bad, but I need to know how you did this. Spearheaded data analytics, lifecycle. Okay, yeah, it's not. Again, you have a couple of amazing bullet points, and the rest of them are just not what I'm looking for. I want you to pick out. Seriously, look at this. Goes for everybody. Go to 10 to 15 jobs that you believe you qualify for. Put them on a separate tab. Mark at what it shows in the qualification section. Those are the keywords. Now, not all job descriptions are good. Some are terrible, quite frankly. So as long as they show what the actual qualifications are, look at them, because that's what we're actually looking for. I don't care that you restructured workflows unless it says it in the job description. I need to know that. I need to know. I don't care that you monitored team strength and relations with customer approach. Unless that is in the job description, I don't care about it. And a lot of these things I don't think I would care about if I was the recruiter for this. So please, look at the actual job descriptions you're applying to, make your resume based on that, use this formatting, and I don't even think you need this stuff right here because this is solid. This was what they're actually looking for. You just buried it under a junk of other stuff. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software new grad. So they have interned at big tech companies this past cycle. Microsoft, Salesforce, Bloomberg for intern roles specifically. I want to prepare as much as I can for new grad roles that open up in August. I did not have Red Hat on my resume. So first off, holy moly, that is amazing. You got 1 in 20 for interns. It's one of the best ratios I've ever seen. So there is going to be some slight differences when you apply to full-time roles, but overall, my goodness, that is amazing. So what we're going to be looking for full stack specifically, and again, this is not Fang. I want to be clear. I'm not a Fang recruiter or manga recruiter. I don't know what they call it now. I have not worked for big tech. I have worked in tech, but not big tech. So maybe my advice won't work for like Google and them. That's entirely possible. I don't want to lie to people, but this will work for everything else at least. Or it could still work even better. We'll see. So, we're going to be looking for TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, Next.js, SQL, React.js, API REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, and cross-functional. All right, there we go. So coursework, I don't think coursework matters as much. I don't know what this is, but it's nice. So I think you could fit this into 2 lines. Again, I think the format should be closer to this, but I think you could get away with 2 lines because SHPE programming chair, maybe spell that out in case they don't know what that is, but this could be beneficial. But I don't fully know what it is. Technical skills are not going to be needed, especially because you listed Python, Java, C++. The fact is, if you list all of those, they think you know none of those. So you don't really need the technical skills section. Those need to be in the bullet points. So intern, incoming intern at Ansible will work on Python migration. Python's good. Again, I don't really know how to judge this one because you just started, so there's really not a lot, but that's okay. Python is going to be a keyword. Engineered a secure API key management system for Firebase and Google Cloud. Don't bold Firebase, but it is good that you have Google Cloud, enabling first deployment and powering of Porsche. I don't know what that is. I don't know if I care, but you do have API and cloud. That's good. Constructed a RESTful. Don't bold it, but again, good. Twilio in Node.js and Firebase. Again, I don't know if I care as much about Firebase. Pick up response, but again, it's good that you have Node.js. Manage an agile team of 6. There it is. This is a club within a team of 20 and design in iOS. That's good. I mean, this is actually pretty solid. I think there's some extraneous stuff, but this is pretty good. I really do like the way you wrote it. I wish you didn't bold it, but those are a lot of the keywords that I'm looking for. I need a little bit more, but still, you're good so far. Using React, Tailwind. Okay, again, don't bold, but it's solid. Okay, engineered a backend logic REST API. Yeah, I think I'm missing TypeScript. The problem with the bolding is it's easy to miss stuff, but I am missing a little bit of this, but the rest of it is solid. Random starter reactive backend blink friendly users, PH, HTTP. I don't know if that's needed, but JavaScript, PostSQL, yes, CI/CD. These are solid. I think you need to add a little bit of keywords, but overall, this is a solid resume. Just stop with the bolding, fix the formatting a little bit, and maybe add some of the more keywords up top. But overall, this is really good. I can see why you're getting stuff. I mean, again, I feel like people are thinking, oh, it's trash, it doesn't follow. No, like, these are pretty solid sentences. You have some of the keywords. The bolding makes it harder to read, but overall, I think this is solid. So, yeah, not bad. I think this is like a B+ resume. I just want to take it to A+. Again, when you search for internships versus when you search for your full-time job after, the same resume may not work for both, but overall this is sufficient. You just need to add a little bit of the stuff, make some of the keywords clearer, stop with the bolding, and you're going to be good. Next resume. This is a resume review of a high school graduate who just started searching for an internship related to IT. They want to be either a support intern, help desk, or any other variant. Thank you for taking the time to read my essay. I'm glad to help you out. So, kind of the thing here is a lot of internships do require you to be enrolled in specifically like a higher education. So, I don't know if it would work as much for an associate. There may be some interns. This is a part where my knowledge base is not as solid. Typically, the interns I see require a bachelor's, but maybe there are some. In addition, when you are specifying you want anything related to IT, such as help desk, there are going to be differences in how you write your resume. Probably not a ton, but it is where you want to focus it on. So I would really recommend just picking about 3 to 4 job titles and making your resume based on that. So formatting wise, this is almost my formatting, but it's not quite. This should be 10.5 Arial. Everything here needs to be 10.5 Arial. This needs to be 12 point Arial. This is 12 Arial. This is 14 Arial. So I have the formatting there. It's also down below. Do not bold this. You do not bold this. You just leave this. This should be maybe italicized, but you do not bold it. This is okay. I think you could leave this in maybe 1 or 2 lines. I don't know if you need this as much. Really, you just show that you did that, not tell. So technical projects, you can just say projects. It's okay. You don't need to do that. First off, don't bold everything here, and the formatting is slightly off. Created and managed 30 users in a virtual Active Directory. Onboarding. See, here's the problem with this. This is a little bit less IT help desk. This is more help desk. So I really want you to see, I do like created and manage user accounts part, but like, I also want to see like how you did that. What tools did you use? Was it in Linux? Was it in Android? I don't know if you could do that in Android. Was it in Linux? Was it in Microsoft? Was it in, like what was the overall system? Did you install, troubleshoot like Word and that kind of stuff? Assembled the desktop from components, diagnose and resolve boot failures and driver conflicts. That can be solid. Installed and configured Windows 11. There we go. Resolving errors and driver compatibility issues. Designed and simulated an IT ticketing system, capturing and priority mock tickets, hardware. So yeah, I'm going to need a little bit more with this, but not a ton more. Interns can get away with essentially, like, you know, not as much. But I do want to know, typically for help desk, it's going to be like user management, so passwords, installing, I'm trying to remember, I don't have the top of my head. It's installing, configuring, troubleshooting are sort of going to be your key things. I want to know that you have installed, I want to know that you've done that stuff, and you kind of did that. I just need a little bit more. Skills, these need to, no, I don't care. The skill sections don't work, they need to be here. These are okay, honestly. I don't know if you've been here long enough at Kohl's, but whatever. So your formatting is off a little bit, and the skills section isn't good. So if you fix that, what you should show is the technical projects and then work history. What I am looking for here is I want to know how you worked well with others. You can't just say collaborated with team members. I want to know how you did. I want to know that you can do a little bit of customer service for an intern, because the key things of an intern are basic knowledge of the industry, which you almost have. I think it won't take too long, but I need to know that you can take direction from others and criticism, and you can work well with others. There is a lot of cases of interns essentially getting a huge ego and like rage quitting their internship. So they really want to make sure you can do that. So I want a sentence or two of that, and it needs to be within the first, like, here-ish. But if you fix the formatting, you should be able to use it here. But I want to know how, right? How did you work well with others? How did you do conflict de-escalation? How did you take criticism? So those are what I'm going to be looking for. Again, I don't think this is a bad resume, but it's like a D-, right? It's almost there. It won't take a ton of tweaking, and then you should start getting some, assuming you can get it as an associate. That part I don't actually know, but you should be getting some more interviews if they allow interns to work as that are in an associate and not a bachelor's. Next, resume. This is a resume of a software engineer full stack. They graduated in October, and they've been applying to internships, full-time positions since September. They've only had 2 interviews in early October, but no other responses. That is not good. So the first thing I do want to actually ask people, because this is beyond my knowledge, is do they give internships after you graduate? Because a large amount of them usually require you to be in school at a certain point, but I can at least help you with getting a full-time job. So that part I actually don't know, because I'm interested to hear people's thoughts on it. But so what we're looking for full stack is TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, Next.js, MongoDB, SQL, React.js, API, REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functional, Architect, extra language, and Git. The last ones are bonus points. I feel like I should have these memorized by now, but I do not. That is why we have a list. So this formatting is awful. It's not great. Okay, so this should be... Oh, you haven't graduated yet. Okay, that makes more sense. So first off, I want to break this down. The resume that gets you an internship is not the resume that gets you a full-time job, and vice versa. So if you want to apply to internships, you need an internship resume. If you want to apply to full-time jobs, you need a full-time resume. They're very different in how they function and what we need. Typically, interns are less focused on the overall skills. They still need some. They need to show a basic knowledge of the industry, but they also need to show that they can work well with others and they can take criticism, and they've done maybe a project or something. For full-time, full work, you specifically don't need the work well with others, and that you do need to be able to do that, but it's usually assumed, so it's not in the resume. And then you need to go heavier on the skills itself. So this is going to be specifically for the full-time job application, not for the internships, okay? Because those are different. So, President's List, Google Group, Teacher's Assistant, Tracks. This isn't needed. This isn't needed. You should be able to fit all of this into 2 lines. I think you should fit this into 2 lines, which is University of Maryland. Don't bold anything here, but this isn't needed. I can't imagine... See, this is fine working as a teacher assistant, but yeah, this should be fit into 2 lines. Or put the teaching assistant down as a project or work experience, which it looks like you did, so I don't know if you actually need it up here. And again, it should look like this. This is peak formatting. It's boring, which is what you want. So develop, maintain front end and back end. Okay, using Node and React, that's good, but I need more API. So already I have 3 keywords. That's okay, but if I'm looking for front end and back end full stack, these are the primary ones I'm looking for. It's good that you have these, but this is what I need a lot. Let's see, implemented using CSS and JavaScript. Perfect, but where's HTML? Leading to a 20%. Okay, here's the part where you lost me. I don't care about this. I don't care if there's a 25% user satisfaction, whatever. Optimize SQL, data restructuring by that. Again, there's a lot of extraneous stuff in here, and I think this might be your problem, is more of a formatting issue than anything. These are not terrible bullet points. The problem is it's easy to miss them because your formatting does not look like this. And you sort of bury the lead on them a little bit, and you're trying to do these percentage brag things. I swear, every time I see a resume that says 20% optimization increased, usually I know it's got a horrible ratio. Those don't get you jobs. I need to know what it is, which you largely tell me, how you did it, sort of, and why you did it. I don't care about necessarily the percentage points, but yeah, so you're essentially over lengthening your bullet points, which makes it harder to find. And in that, I do need to see HTML. I do need to see Angular, and you do have SQL, which I think you have SQL. Yeah, SQL, which is solid. Agile you don't have, but I would like some cloud if possible. So craft and led a tutoring session, undergrad. Again, this, I need to know what kind of languages, right? Crafted and led comprehension tutoring sessions for JavaScript, Python, CSS, HTML, in which 600 plus undergraduate freshmen done that. And this is huge. This is big. You can actually show that you taught this stuff. You're kind of burying the lead. I also want to make sure that your phone number and contact information is correct, because that might be an issue as well. It doesn't matter how good your resume is. If your phone number, contact, and email are bad, or it goes straight up to voicemail or bounces. Developed a real-time React and Firebase. Don't care about Firebase. Models, historical, don't care. Don't care. Cross-functionally with front-end and back-end design teams. This is okay, but again, it's a project, so I don't really know if you could use cross-functionally. This is something entry-level is not going to be as much for cross-functional, so I don't really care if that. There's nothing here I need. This entire thing could be safely deleted, and it wouldn't affect your resume. Developed and deployed in AI. AI is okay, but that's all I needed besides API. So yeah, no. The problem is this, which people can't see at the very bottom. This is what I'm looking for. I'm highlighting the stuff below this, but you don't show it. So you're missing some keywords. Your overly long resume is not helping in regards to the fact that there's a lot of extraneous stuff. You can have a long resume, but it just doesn't work. Like this section should be no longer than 2. This is okay, but you add a bunch of extra stuff like this to it, which I don't care about. So fix that up, add more keywords, make it cleaner, and this is specifically for full-time roles. And in addition, the market is bad, so you need to make sure, because like we're in a recession, you need to make sure that you apply before that counter on LinkedIn or Indeed hits 100. If it hits 100, it's probably too late. ATSs sort people in the order they applied. So if you are applicant number 150, even if your resume is great, you have all the keywords, it's written right, it's formatted well, it's not going to get seen. So apply early, apply fast, fix the formatting, get rid of some of the extra stuff, add more keywords, and you're on your way to getting your first job. But I will say, getting your first job is still a nightmare. It's still very hard. That's why I say for your first job, a 1-to-50 ratio is good. While if you have 2 or 3 years experience, a 1-to-50 ratio is not as good. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of actually, there's a slight difference with this. This is the EU version of the software engineer full stack. So most of the words are similar, but not all of them. The main difference is instead of Python, it seems like Java, Spring Boot, and Hibernate are a little more important in the EU market. So those are the words we're going to add. Otherwise, as far as I'm aware, the keywords are the same with the exception of cross-functional. Cross-functional is not as important in the EU, apparently. I don't know why. They're just differences. So, I am a US-based recruiter. This person has applied to, we don't know how many jobs, but they mainly wanted help with sort of formatting. So, let's see what we can do. So, formatting is awful. Not awful. It's not the worst. It's just this is not needed. You need to, there's a reason I have it like this, is it takes up less space and it's clearer. The rest of this is okay, but this kind of messes with it. So, again, you can have a portfolio link, that is okay, but which you can replace with the LinkedIn. So that is what I would recommend, or have them both, but you really should have it centered right here. It looks better, it's easier to read, and it's clearer. So bachelor's, this is good. Professional experience for accent, city and country. Developed a dynamic multi-language SPI webpage with Kit and TypeScript. So here is the problem with this. This is your first sentence. This is basically the first thing they're going to really read. They're going to check that you had education, move it off the checklist, and move down. This is all that I don't care about except for TypeScript. So a multi-language SPA, I don't know what that is. I don't care. So I want you to redo this. This says like developed a web page using TypeScript, JavaScript, Java, and the backend using whatever. So, created, help design and implement RESTful APIs using Go and Rust. Again, the problem is there's only a singular keyword in here. There is when you're having specifically IT resumes, you kind of need more than one keyword per sentence or bullet point. There's a lot that you need to fit in. So their API is good, TypeScript is good, but I need more. And there's basically 2 sentences to tell me 2 keywords. Created user interface using HTML, Tailwind, JavaScript, and TypeScript. Solid. Worked on building applications using Flutter and Dart for Android. If you're applying to specifically mobile apps, then that is useful. Otherwise, this isn't. So you may want to have a different resume for mobile, because mobile full stack is different than not mobile. So, manage web using Docker and PostSQL. Again, the Docker is not really important. The SQL is. Again, this is not as important. So these are not the worst, but they're not good. You're basically, you can have way more keywords. You can have way more stuff that you can fit in, because the space is a premium. So, let's see. Integrated a third-party API is good for PHP. Again, PHP is not as needed in full stack. That's more front end. Yes, I know front end and full stack is front end and back end, but it's specifically front end job descriptions. And control using Node.js with TypeScript, good, and Go. I don't know if Go is important or not. I've seen it a little bit. I'm iffy on Go. It could be, it could not be, but again, it's more like extra credit. This doesn't matter. There's nothing here I need. It says using Confluence. Deployed Docker web page. Again, I don't care about Docker, but CI/CD pipelines AWS. In fact, here's an issue. Cloud is important. This should be up top. I should see cloud very quickly. Cloud is very important. So you're kind of burying the lead. It's like going to the grocery store and there was a circus at the grocery store and you don't tell them that till 20 minutes and you talk about the checkout line. So yeah, we definitely need to fix the bullet points. The formatting is not the worst. Again, it's mostly mine, but you need to put this in the middle. So does this pass? Kind of. I think it could get interviews, but I really think a lot of recruiters are going to miss this stuff. So you are in chat right now, so let me end this section of the video, go help you, and then I'll go to the next video. So this is a resume of a flight dispatcher, and if you're wondering why it looks so weird, it's because this person like fully doxed almost like everything about themselves, and their formatting is so weird that I had to do this. So this is the best that I could come up with to not basically dox them. So please remove your information. Also, they have their full face on the resume. Don't do that. So I will be perfectly frank. I've not worked in aviation. I've worked in aerospace, but not specifically like commercial airliners. So I don't know the keywords to a flight dispatcher off the top of my head. I tried looking them up. There were only like 8 jobs in the entire U.S. that had that title. So I think they are called something different. This person is outside of the United States, but I don't know what they're called in the U.S. and I cannot search in the area. So all that being said, this is going to be primarily a formatting resume. And if you fix this, let me know. Stop on my Twitch chat and I'll give you another freebie. So this needs to be single column. Never do double column. It doesn't affect the ATS, but affects the recruiter's brain when they try to read 30 resumes in 10 minutes. And if the recruiter is affected by your resume, it means they may miss the actual skills. So what I need is your first and last name. I need your phone number, your email, and your LinkedIn or portfolio. If you can fit them both, that's fine. If you don't have a portfolio, that's also okay. Then if you are a U.S. citizen or green card holder in that, put this here. I don't know how that works in other states, but I also don't know if you can get a job in the United States as without having the work authorization, But I imagine because airplanes go everywhere, they might be more lenient on how that works. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't even know if you're looking in the United States, in the EU, or in your home country. So that kind of changes it. Then I want your education and certs. This should be bolded, but nothing else down here should be bolded. And this should be, everything below here is 10.5. So then your work history, and I need a summary of your duties that even a 12-year-old can understand, ideally with some keywords, and this is not a metaphor, it needs to be so basic that a 12-year-old could understand it. Then your keyword and qualification, how you used it, the what, why, how, and then you're going to continue on that. This format right here is designed to get you rejected. That does not work. And I'm not trying to be rude or mean, but I want to make sure that you understand why bad things are happening to you in the job market. But there's a lot here that I'm not able to really know because I don't want to give bad advice. That's why this is very broad, because I don't know where you're applying. I couldn't find the job titles. I don't know the work authorization status specifically for the flight industry. So but I do know that you have languages listed on the side. Languages can go here. They can go right below here under city and state. It is actually very important and very beneficial to list languages you have that you are fluent in, because as someone who has had to search for people that are fluent in 2 languages, it is a nightmare. You actually can be kind of a unicorn if you are bi, tri, or more lingual. So that is it for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out. And if you need more help, stop by my Twitch chat Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST until about 2 p.m. That's about my hours, 11 to 2. And I want to make sure you get ahead of your job search. I'll see you next time.